And our weekly Parascha begins the narrative about physical birth and the subsequent purification associated with it. And then our chapter moves on and speaks about spiritual birth, and our rabbi explained it all very beautifully this week on Thursday. There is practically nothing for me to add, only to repeat it. If we read this chapter of ours, it looks like a medical, ritualistic chapter. But if you look more closely, it is about the inner state of a person. And, as our rabbi has already said, it is about the inner state, about his soul, about his heart. The skin, the epidermis, the outer covering, shows what is wrong with this person. Our sages say that this punishment of Metzora is for bad behavior, which is expressed in vocabulary, for our negative eloquence. The tongue is our enemy. Our tongue has power. With our tongue, it is easy to cause pain, to yell, to offend, to rebel, to lead to social division, and so on.
Нашим языком легко причинить боль, накричать, обидеть, побунтовать, привести к социальному расколу и так далее.
Because of this individual is punished, and a disease appears on the person's body. The consequence of all this is that this individual must live outside the camp, the city, the settlement, away from healthy people, away from society. This isolation provides time for reflection. At the sight of other people, this individual had to cry out that they are unclean, thereby warning others and acknowledging their wrongdoing. The patient, this person, was examined not by a doctor, but by a Kohen, which means that this is not a medical disease or diagnosis, but a moral one. I think that during the examination, when the Kohen came to him, he helped him to see, understand, and realize his weakness, his problem, thereby helping him to return to society.
Он помогал ему увидеть, понять, осознать его слабость, его проблему, тем самым помогая ему вернуться в общество.
Our whole modern problem is that we say, why do we need a rabbi when we have the Talmud? Or, I am smart enough. I have already read the scripture from cover to cover about 5 times. I am smart enough. I already know more than the rabbi himself. We neglect respect, and so on. This is where our problems, our suffering, come from. Our weekly Haftarah speaks about Naaman, the commander of the army of the king of Aram. He was a great and highly respected man. He comes to Elisha for healing, but the prophet does not even go out to him. He sends his servant, who tells him what he needs to do, immerse himself in the Jordan 7 times in order to be healed. He is perplexed. How can I, such a great man, do this in some Jordan river? Who among you has bathed in the Jordan? Who knows what kind of river that is? And who has bathed in a river? There is something to compare it to, isn't there? But this Naaman has enough wisdom to listen, humble himself, and make the right choice, to do as he is told, despite the fact that he is such a great and respected man, knows everything, and has authority.
Но у этого человека, у этого Наамана, у него хватает мудрости прислушаться, смириться и сделать правильный выбор. Сделать, как ему говорят, несмотря на то, что он такой великий и уважаемый человек, и все знает, и у него власть.
Let us return to the topic. If realization came to this person, to this leprous heart, if he heard, understood what was required of him, and realized that he was wrong, then he has a way back. It was necessary to undergo the purification ritual. The first concept is to realize. I think he would go to the people he had harmed. He would go to them and make peace. He repented for his eloquence, for the damage he had caused them. Then he brought his korban, and so on. He did everything necessary in order to be purified.
Он приходил к ним, мирился. за свое красноречие, за тот ущерб, который он им нанес. Далее он приносил жертвы и так далее. Все, что необходимо делать, он делал для того, чтобы очиститься. Мы
We
все с
all
вами делаем
make
ошибки.
mistakes. Who among us
Если
does not make mistakes? If a person does not make
кто из нас не
mistakes,
делает
then I
ошибок? Если
believe that
человек не
this is
делает
not a
ошибок, то
living
я
person.
считаю, что это не живой человек.
The most important thing
Самое
is to find
главное
the
найти в себе
strength within
силы,
yourself,
осознать,
to realize and admit to yourself that you
найти
are sometimes
и
wrong,
признаться
to try
себе,
diplomatically,
что
to
ты
talk to the
иногда
one
бываешь
you have
неправ.
offended or upset with your actions,
Дипломатично
to
постараться
talk and
поговорить с тем,
mend
кого ты
relations with
обидел
them, to settle
или
the
огорчил своим
misunderstanding and
поступком.
return back to society.
Поговорить и наладить с ним
Remember that this is
отношения.
a character trait of a strong person. The weak are
Уладить это
egoists.
понимание
They have
и
no strength
вернуться
for this.
обратно в
They will
общество.
die with this disease. Without
Запомните, что это
understanding,
черта
without
характера сильного
realizing,
человека.
and without finding the
Слабые
strength
—
to
это
purify
эгоизм.
themselves from this disease and
У них
return.
нету для этого силы.
I wish
Они
for all
умрут
of
с этой
us to
болезнью,
find this
не
strength,
поняв и не
to
осознав,
realize and
и не найдя в
understand
себе
this,
силы
and to
вернуться,
return to society.
очистить себя от
Shabbat
этой,
Shalom to everyone.
от этой болезни, от этой скверны. И я желаю всем нам найти этой силы, осознать и понять. Всем и вернуться в общество. Всем шаббат шалом.